Hello everyone, this is Demetrius Wilson again with Principles of Management, moving right along to Chapter 3. Chapter 3 is on personality, attitudes, and work behaviors. Three components that are very important, very integral to your success in the workplace. So what are our learning objectives for the chapter? So one, you want to understand the roles of personality and values in work behaviors. Explain the process of perception and how it affects work behaviors. Remember, perception is reality in people's minds. Identify the major work attitudes that affect work behaviors. Define person-organization fit and identify how it affects work behaviors. We have to have the right person for the right job. List the key set of behaviors that matter for organizational performance, and be able to develop your positive attitude skills. Always have to have a positive attitude within the workplace. So remember the planning, organizing, leading, and controlling framework model that they have at the beginning of most chapters. Planning, vision and mission, strategizing goals and objectives, organizing, organizational design, culture, social networks, leading, leadership, decision making, communication, groups and teams, which you will always work in, and motivation, controlling system processes, and strategic human resources. So personality and fitting in. We often don't fit in, whether it be in a social group or in a group of individuals at work, but sometimes people just don't fit in. Successful organizations depend upon getting the right mix of individuals, the right positions at the right time. Each individual brings the following to the workplace. They bring a certain amount of skills. Maybe you have a lot of skills, maybe you're lacking skills. Personality, maybe you have a good personality, maybe your personality sucks. Ability, like your different types of abilities that come, true to probably to your own personality and the things that you've learned to do in other organizations, and your values, how you feel about things, and the way that you make your decisions within the workplace. So these are what you call the big five personality traits. You have openness, the degree to which person is curious, original, intellectual, creative, and open to new ideas. Are you open to new ideas, or do you say, this is the way we've always done it, we'll continue to do it this way? Conscientiousness, the degree to which a person is organized, systematic, achievement-oriented, and dependable. Are you dependable, or are you the person that calls in sick every 3 weeks? Extroversion, the degree to which a person is outgoing, talkative, and sociable, right? Do you speak with others, or do you just go to your corner and work and go eat your lunch and come back to your corner and not say anything to anybody? Agreeableness, the degree to which a person is affable, tolerant, sensitive, trusting, kind, and earnest. And neuroticism, the degree to which a person is anxious, irritable, and temperamental. Obviously, you don't want to be either of those three. Studies show that there is a positive relationship between being extroverted and effectiveness as a salesperson. Well, of course, nobody's going to buy anything from you if you don't know how to talk to people or interact with anyone. Examples such as this reveal the importance that one's personality has to go or has with regards to one's work performance, depending upon what your position is. If you're an introverted person, you might be really good as an auditor. Self-monitoring and proactive personality. So let's check out these two different types. Self-monitors understand what the situation demands and acts accordingly. Rated as a high performer and emerge as a leader. Effective at networking and influencing other people. As managers, they tend to have lower accuracy in evaluating the performance of their employees. Sometimes people just don't have it right in regards to how good or bad their employees are. Then on the other side, you have proactive personalities. Use initiative to solve problems, may have higher levels of performance, understand the political environment better, make friends more quickly, and are responsive to feedback that they receive. Sometimes feedback may hurt your feelings, but if you can use it to better yourselves, you should really be thanking that person. And maybe perceived as too pushy. I've been perceived as too pushy quite often. Do I feel like I'm too pushy? No. But like we said, perception is reality and depends on what those individuals who report to me believe. Self-esteem and self-efficacy. So self-esteem, high self-esteem is related to higher levels of job satisfaction. So you have high self-esteem, you have a lot of satisfaction in regards to your job. I feel like I'm doing a good job. I feel proud of myself. performance, and creativity. Those with low self-esteem are attracted to positions where they'll be relatively invisible, right? So nobody will ever see me. I'm Milton. I'm in the basement with my red stapler. Nobody ever knows that I'm there, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Self-efficacy, a belief that one can perform a specific task successfully. So, do you believe that you have the skills to complete this task successfully? Job specific and related to job performance. So self-esteem around the globe. So which nations have the highest average of self-esteem? Researchers asked this question by surveying almost 17,000 individuals across 53 nations in 28 languages. Uh, and in self-reported and self-esteem, so the highest, we've got Serbia, Chile, Israel, Peru, Estonia, United States of America is number 6. I bet you guys all thought United States of America was going to be number 1. Turkey, Mexico, Croatia, and Austria. The lowest, you have South Korea, Switzerland, Morocco, Slovakia, Fiji, Taiwan, the Czech Republic, Bangladesh, Hong Kong, and Japan. All right, so some of those may be surprising, some of those may not. Uh, the Pygmalion effect. So in Greek mythology, Pygmalion was a sculptor who created a statue of a woman so beautiful and realistic that he fell in love with it. Well, that's an interesting fellow, but I understand the premise that they're attempting to get at. So management scholars have applied the idea to a concept called the Pygmalion effect, where individuals can shape a person's personality to expectations, much like the Pygmalion shaped the statue to become his idea of the perfect woman. It's just like in a relationship sometime you say, well, this person may not be the way that I want them to be, but you know what? I can mold them, I can shape them, right? People always think that. The Pygmalion effect, self-efficacy, and seasickness. So self-efficacy refers to an individual's belief in his or her own abilities. In one study, a researcher was trying to test the degree to which self-efficacy could mitigate a biological process like seasickness. In the study, the researcher gave members of the Navy a number of tests. One group of sailors was told that they were less prone to seasickness based on the test results. Another group was shown standard military training video that showed sailors throwing up once the water started to get rough. After they all went out to sea for the first time, the group they told that had the higher seasickness self-efficacy was less likely to throw up, right? So you have to understand that sometimes people plant a seed and then that's what happens in your head and your mind, but it may not truly be reality. Personality testing and employee selection. So for example, the Wonderlic cognitive ability test is used by the National Football League when evaluating the learning aptitude of new players entering the draft. So we got Tim Tebow over there. High five to him making it onto another pro football team. He's on the Eagles now. But I always find it interesting that if you don't do good on the Wonderlic test as a quarterback, you're not going to be a quarterback in the NFL because you're basically not going to be able to read and retain everything in that playbook. I've taken the Wonderlic test for employment at a company, so I know companies that actually use the Wonderlic test as well. And I would say, from my experience, because I used it as a barometer in regards to people's possible performance, I'd say it's pretty accurate. So values, achievement, the desire for personal success. Careers in sales often focus on this value by offering commissions to align individuals with the organizational outcomes as long as they stay within the traditional business ethics. Benevolence, the desire to protect the well-being of those close to oneself. Allstate Insurance's pledge that you're in good hands, right? You're in good hands with Allstate. Demonstrates the role of benevolence common to many insurance agencies. Conformity, motivation through self-discipline and obedience to the will of others. Careers in the military are well suited to individuals who hold such values in high regard. Hedonism, not just a resort in Jamaica. This is desire for pleasure in life. The gambling industry has often been referred to as a quote-unquote sin industry due to its ties with what many consider hedonistic activities. Power, the desire for control over others, attaining authority and prestige. The 2006 comedic drama The Devil Wears Prada illustrates the role of power in the fashion industry and how somebody may use and abuse that power. Security is a desire for safety and stability. Firefighters and police officers undergo extensive training to help them achieve goals of protecting and serving others. You have self-direction, and this is the desire to be free and dependent, right? I want to be a free bird. I want to go out. I want to make my own hours. I want to do my own thing. Many academics are drawn to a career in research because of the ability to independently pursue their intellectual curiosity on any number of topics with relatively little outside influence. Everybody leave me alone. I'm going to my lab. I'm doing my research, and I will present my findings when I'm done. Stimulation, the desire for an exciting life. Careers in big game hunting, venture travel, and deep sea diving embrace this type of need for stimulation. And tradition. You also have tradition, where the acceptance of social customs and traditional ideas in society. Individuals value traditional ideas, might enjoy working in event planning. Oops. Universalism, the desire to protect the well-being of all people with a care of and for social justice. And groups that promote human rights, such as Amnesty International, demonstrate a potential career choice for individuals who value universalism. So, as always, you have your discussion questions. Go ahead and read over those. If you have a study buddy, you guys can ask the questions back and forth between each other. Feel free to ask your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your cousin, and even your dog the discussion questions. If your dog responds back to me, responds back to you, then take a video of that. All right, so perception, and we indicated that perception is reality. So, if somebody sees me pick something up and they think I stole it, it doesn't matter if I didn't steal it and it was already mine. It just matters that they perceive that I stole it. The process with individuals detect and interpret environmental stimuli. Perception is affected by individual value, needs, and emotions. So, visual perception, what do you see? Do you see a cup, right? Outline, right? Big cup, big chalice or whatever. Or do you see two faces? There goes one, there goes another one, right? Well, it just depends on what you're focused on. If I focus on the white area, I see a cup. But if I focus on this area, I see two faces face to face, right? It just depends on how you're looking at things. Self-enhancement bias and self-effacement bias. Just an interesting point I want to point out on that. Some people will swear up and down that luck, luck of the draw had nothing to do with their success at all. But that's definitely not true. In most instances, you have some type of luck or some type of break that was given to you, right? If you look at a gentleman like Wesley Snipes, some of you may not know that he was selected and found in Michael Jackson's Bad video, right? So if you didn't know anything about Wesley Snipes, you wouldn't think, why would he be dancing in Michael Jackson's Bad video? Well, because, in a lot of these things you have to start somewhere. There's actors and actresses, but some of those individuals say, oh, nobody gave me a hand, nobody gave me a shot, but that's not necessarily always the case. So bias and perception. Stereotypes. Stereotypes are generalizations based on a group characteristic. Those people, blah, blah, blah. Usually you start saying those people, that means you're stereotyping. Self-fulfilling prophecy occurs when an established stereotype causes one to behave in a certain way. Well, this is what people think about me, so you know what? I'm going to, just go ahead and behave that way anyway. And in selective perception, we pay selective attention to parts of the environment while ignoring other parts, right? I pay attention to this because it makes me look favorable. I don't pay attention to this because it paints me in a bad light. So you have to, be more even keel. Your perception should be closer to what reality actually is. First impressions, right? So research has shown that a firm handshake with 3 or 4 up and down pumps is key to making a positive impression, right? So I guess that's why a lot of people shake my hand and keep shaking my hand. I was like, why do you keep shaking my hand, right? One is good enough for me, but they say it's for good impressions. And if you ever see someone like in sales who shakes your hand, kind of turns your hand over, that's to show that they kind of have like the upper hand. And I've seen that before. So we're coming up on 15 minutes. We're going to stop this video. There will be chapter 3, lecture part 2 coming up shortly.